Today we have the Preparing, Organizing, and Writing Your Thesis or Dissertation workshop to get started this afternoon. We have Dr. Lena Chatto, a postdoctoral scholar in computer, electrical, and biomedical engineering, and I'm sure she can share a bit more once I hand it over. Dr. Chatto will be discussing helpful tactics like developing a comprehensive writing plan, establishing a timeline, creating structured outline, presenting and discussing objectives and outcomes. So all that being said, I will go ahead and turn it over to you, Dr. Chatto. Thank you again.
Thank you so much for the wonderful introduction. And hi, everyone. My name is Lena Chatto. I have a PhD in electrical and computer engineering. Currently, I'm postdoctoral in machine learning and data mining. My research area is in developing prediction models for different types of the data. My dissertation was more about medical image processing and analysis using deep learning and machine learning. Okay, so today in this workshop, I will provide some information, definitions, that we need to understand and get information to learn how to process our dissertation. Okay, so let me just share the slides with you. So I hope everyone got my slides. So if you have any problem with the slides, you cannot see the sharing screen, please let me know in the chat. Okay, so yeah, welcome to this writing bootcamp workshop, preparing, organizing, and writing dissertation thesis. Okay, so I like you to look on this good. I very believe in this. Discipline is the bridge between goals and accomplishment. And I believe everyone with a thesis and dissertation project, you have goals, right? And you want to achieve your accomplishments. So first thing, let me say congratulations, you are here in this step of your study. That means you have many achievements and you already start studying about the meaning or understanding the meaning of the dissertation and thesis. So in this workshop, the objective is to understand the meaning of the dissertation and thesis, gain insight into effective planning, and how to write a research dissertation, and also learn what are the strategies to overcome any challenge that maybe you will face during your dissertation process, and also learn how to clearly communicate your objective and outcomes of your dissertation and thesis research. Okay, so the agenda, we will first of this workshop, first we will start with the meaning, because first we must know what is the meaning of the thesis and dissertation. And also we will learn in this workshop the dissertation, how the dissertation or thesis looks like, and how to prepare dissertation and thesis, how to write a good dissertation and thesis, and what are the strategies to overcome any barriers in the dissertation thesis process. So first part, I divided this work, as you see in the agenda, into 5 parts. So the first part, let's start with what is the dissertation or thesis, okay? So in this part, we will talk about the definition. What is the difference between thesis and dissertation? What are the skills that you need to prepare, organize, and write your dissertation? So in general, we can say dissertation is a book-sized manuscript describing the original research performed to earn doctoral degree. Thesis, same definition, but it is for master degree. Okay. Now, maybe you will say, okay, we have a dissertation for PhD and we have the thesis, but there of course, there are some differences between the dissertation and a thesis, but the original or the main idea is the same. Okay, so if we want to know what is the general idea about the dissertation or thesis, so it is original and long-form research project that involve collecting and analyzing new or existing data. Okay, we know the experiment is very important. Most of the dissertation and thesis part of the process is doing experiments. But actually the core of the dissertation and thesis lies about developing and showcasing critical thinking abilities. So we can say, in general also, the dissertation is about hypotheses and or questions, okay, and the expected outputs or results, okay? So if we want to compare the dissertation with thesis, we know the thesis is for master degree, dissertation is for PhD degree. A dissertation in general is longer than this thesis, but actually this depends also on the topic. It is the thesis is has this research in the thesis is medium complexity, but the research in the dissertation is high complexity. In thesis, the master's students, as a master's students, you are trying to prove your ability to analyze and think critically about a topic of your choice. You want to prove that or to show that you are a researcher in your field. But when we talk about the dissertation, you want to prove that you are expert in your field. You are able to generate new ideas, okay? New questions and contribute to your field by answering these questions. So this is a general. Maybe you will say which one is more hard or difficult? Yes, the dissertation is more hard than thesis to prepare it because it's a complex, very complex research. This number one, and it's required for very advanced degree, more than the master. But also you can think that the master students, this is the first time they are preparing their independent research independently. So it is hard to them too, okay? So what the graduate student would like to demonstrate through dissertation or thesis journey. Number one, your ability to work independently, generate creative ideas and contribute to your field. Ability to pursue, this is very important, and improve your skills and gain new skills. So in general, we can say it is your responsibility to prepare, organize, and write your dissertation. Your advisor, committee members, other people's friends, family, they are available to support you and to advise, help you in this journey. But in the end, it is your responsibility to prepare your original work, okay? So how to build your dissertation story? We have these 4 important terms. We focus on them, or elements actually, to develop our dissertation. Actually, when I talk about dissertation, I mean the thesis or professional paper too, okay? So dissertation topic is the big idea that you are exploring, okay? This is the meaning of the dissertation topic. Dissertation topic is not the title of your dissertation or thesis, but it is the big idea, okay? Dissertation objectives, you need to have dissertation objectives. That means you need to identify what is the reason that you are developing this research and you are working on this specific topic. What is the goal? What's the aim? What you want to achieve? Why? What is the reason? But when we say what is the thesis hypotheses, these are questions, okay? So these questions, we want, when you use these questions, to mention what we guess. Okay, what are the methods, for example? We suggest, okay, if I use a procedure of this processing data, I believe I will get this, or I think I will get this and this. Okay, so these are the dissertation hypotheses. How we can find these dissertation hypotheses? Actually, by reading literature review. Also, we have dissertation results. Dissertation results, any dissertation, we should have outcomes or finding. We want to display them. We want to discuss them. What is the reason? Because these results and outcomes or finding, these prove our methods that we suggested in our dissertation hypothesis to answer these questions. Okay? So dissertation is your research work that demonstrate your ability as a researcher to independently investigate, discuss, analyze, create, develop a research question, and contribute to your field. Of course, this research process is not linear. It is a recursive cycle of steps, okay? That means there are steps. We should start with the first step to get the final results or to get our dissertation or thesis done, okay? So let's look, what are the skills that we need to prepare and organize and write your dissertation? Many people, maybe they think only research and writing, but actually no, we need many of different skills. We need critical thinking, we need time management, project management, organization, research, public speaking, networking, writing. All these skills, you need them to in your journey, in your developing and your dissertation process. Okay. Let's go to the part 2. Okay, so in the part 2, we will think about the pre-dissertation planning. So before you start your dissertation, you must plan. Why we need to plan actually? To make things easy, to make us more comfortable to connect things from step 1 to step 2, okay? So in this part, we will know about the reflection stage. Also, we will learn what are the pre-dissertation planning strategy that we can use. Tips for dissertation time management. Common structure for the dissertation and thesis. Keys for each chapter, because as you know, we said it's a book. So any book has a chapter. So keys for each chapter in your dissertation. Okay, this is what we will cover in part 2. So in reflection stage, in this stage, you need to think inclusively about everything, not only about your topic or the methods or questions about your dissertation, but also about, for example, your committee members, your advisor. Who should be your advisor? What's the kind of the support that you want to get from your committee and advisor? Who are the people around you can help you, can support you in this journey? Also, you need to learn, for example, about the program requirements, to know the steps exactly. This is very important. To think also about how you can fund your dissertation research, how long your dissertation should take, okay? Also, many things actually about everything, how to, for example, collect your data, what is the type, why you want to work in this topic, is there any possible collaboration to get from, for example, data, many things. So we need to think about everything before we start preparing our dissertation and thesis. You want also here to remember you need to maintain independence in your research, and also how to try to set a realistic ideas, goals, okay? Also learn how to plan, create a proper timeline. It's very important to plan ahead and create a proper timeline to make everything flexible and you have better progress. Not only better progress, but also to check your progress. It is important also to remember that when you feel tired, take a break. It's very important to take a break because in this stage, you are thinking about many things. You are working also maybe in your classwork. Maybe you are also working as a teaching assistant, graduate assistant. So that means you have a lot of things to do. So that means we need to take a break when we need it. Very important in this stage is to conduct preliminary research, not comprehensive. Here, preliminary research, to know about everything, about the background of your topic, about if you are interested about it or not, why you are interested on, who can help you, how they can help you people. In this stage, you need to seek feedback. It's very important to ask your advisor, for example, your committee member, your peers, other graduate students, communicate with other peoples, maybe from other organizations. Okay, so it's important to get a feedback, to ask questions, to ask for clarifications. In this stage, we also need to know about how to avoid plagiarism. It's very important, okay? I know most of you, maybe all of you, know that you cannot copy others' work because in the end, you will not get any credit for that, right? But when we say avoid plagiarism, this not only copy, but also, for example, mention a data in your dissertation, you forget to cite it. Okay, so this is important. We will learn also how we can avoid plagiarism, how to cite data, for examples, resources that we are using, literatures in our dissertation. One important point also you need to ask about it is ethical consideration. Check with your advisor, with your committee, with your department, with the people who provide data, if there is another resource for the data, if you are not the person or your department is not the organization that who collect the data, you must consider the ethical consideration, okay? So before you start working on your project, you must have some skills about time management. It's very important, okay? So, for example, we can start the plan ahead. We can create an inclusion detailed and realistic timeline is very important. One of other tips is set weekly and daily schedule. Another important thing you can do, break a task into small tasks, okay? And prioritize your task. I like to work. I'm more comfortable to work, for example, with writing first the methodology or start searching about the data. Do what you like to do, okay? First. Set enough time for each task and small task. Also do not forget to provide sometimes. There is a question in the chat. Let me just remember. Okay. So set enough time for each task and provide a specific amount of time after each task to overcome any delays, any extra work, any emergency will happen. Be patient, flexible, and adaptable. Actually, there's some noise. Do you hear some noise, background noise? Please, if anyone forget to mute their microphone, just please mute your microphone. Okay, thank you. Also, keep your advisor in loop. Ask about everything, about any plan you have. Okay, for example, if you have a problem in funding your research, specific amount of the time for each task, what type of the topic exactly to work on it, and so on. So let's look on what are the common structures of the dissertation and thesis. Let's look on example one. So each dissertation or thesis should start with the abstract. Then we have different chapters we should include in each dissertation and thesis. First, we must start with the introduction or background chapter. In this chapter, we must provide information about the background of our topic, why we are interested, and put our questions. In chapter 2, we must provide literature review to identify actually the gaps, for example, in the research, to mention why we are inspired to do this topic, for example, what is the gap, how we can solve any limitations or identify the limitations in other literatures. Then we have the methodology chapter. And methodology chapter is your steps to develop the method to process and analyze your data and get the results or outcomes finding from your dissertation project. Then after we define our methodology, we must also provide our results, okay? This should be in separate chapter. Then after the results, we have the discussion, conclusion, and the future work. We need to identify these. Then references is most important thing to include to cite any literature that we used in our literature review or any source about the data, for example, or any link about any videos and so on. Also, we can have appendix, single appendix, one appendix, some dissertation or appendices. So this depends on your work, of course, okay? This is optional, but the top, these chapters from chapter 1 to 5, you should have these. There is another structure. This one, let's look on this one. In this one, we have introduction, background, literature review. Then chapter 2, it's about topic 1, chapter 3 about topic 2, 4 about topic 3. Then we have discussion, conclusion, and implications. So this is another one. Let me show you this another one. The title of your chapter is, you are free to use the title, but you should have this order in your dissertation, okay? This is another example, okay? So what are the keys for each chapter in our dissertation? So abstract, it is not chapter. It is only 1 page, 2 pages, sometimes 3. This is a summary, short summary that describes your dissertation objective, analysis, achievements, and contribution. In the introduction part, we must provide a preliminary research background that puts your research in context and clarify the focus of the study. In literature review, you must show the works that has been done in the field related to your dissertation questions, okay? And you must also highlight how your research address the gap in the existing research. The methodology. In this chapter, you describe in detail your research methods to answer your dissertation questions, okay? Then we have the results or finding to present your research result or finding based on your research method. Then we have also conclusion to okay, the conclusion, let me see. I don't need this. Conclusion, to conclude your work and highlight its novelty and also the importance and impact of your work. Then why we need also to include, you must include the future work in your dissertation, because you can show here that how to show how your dissertation work had sent foundation for future research. So one of the important management things we can do to make our process more flexible, more achievable, is crafting a dissertation timeline. So look on these three questions. What to include in the dissertation timeline? How to structure or show dissertation timeline? What do you do with dissertation timeline? Okay, so look on these three questions, okay, and try to answer them. So in general, we can say what to include. We need to include any small element in your dissertation with amount of time to execute it. How structured should dissertation timeline be? So we can, for example, put rows and columns. Rows are for elements and tasks, columns are for time, details, information, notes, anything that make the task more clear, and we can evaluate our progress in that task. Then what do you do with a dissertation? Why we need this? Of course, to check your progress, okay? So let's look on this example of the dissertation timeline. You can see, as I mentioned, first thing you need to provide in the rows the tasks. And you must, as I mentioned, to simplify each task and to have better achievements, or to follow your progress in better way, is to divide each task into a small multitasks. You can include a time. For example, in this table, they divided the time into months, and each month into weeks, 4 weeks, okay? So this is one of the method. Or also you can use, for example, 10 days. Divide your month into three times of a period of times, each for 10 days, okay? So it's up to you. Find the way that you think it will work better for you. This timeline that you prepare in this stage is not the final. You can update it later, but it's good to put this timeline so you will know what are the steps that you need to prepare your dissertation, okay? And what are the small elements that you want to include, how to include, what is the amount of time. Of course, when you prepare this timeline, you must, for example, seek feedback from your advisor, from committee, ask them if this is okay or not, or other graduate students, okay? So in this stage, the recommendation is skim other dissertations to gain more ideas what other people did, how other people display, for example, their topic, their questions, what are the structure they used, what is the citation style they used, which one so you can pick which one works better for you. Also, you need to think carefully about everything. You need to write down any idea come to your mind at this step, and also in the next steps, because many ideas will come to your mind, and we cannot trust that we can remember everything. Also, you need to have some productivity alliance with your advisor, design some, for example, schedule a meeting, present your achievements, ask questions, and same with your peers. Let's go to the part 3. Part 3, how to prepare your thesis dissertation. So here in this part, we will know what are the steps that we need in dissertation thesis process, what are the guidelines and strategies to choose a dissertation topic, how to conduct comprehensive literature review, how to prepare your dissertation proposal, and what is the methodology chapter, how to conduct your dissertation achievements, conclude your dissertation achievements effectively, and why you need to include the future works, okay? So these are the 10 steps. In general, we need them. In each of these 10 steps, I recommend to seek feedback from people. Of course, your advisor is the most person that you work with, okay? So seek feedback from your advisor is very important, okay? To clarify the ideas, to understand what are the expectations, to get some ideas if you have, for example, if you face a specific challenge, okay? So we must first start with understanding the requirement, then choose your topic, conduct literature review, create a proposal, get dissertation topic approval, and so on, okay? So you need to go through these 10 steps. So what is the dissertation topic? It is a specific research question, issue, or subject that you choose to explore and investigate in depth as a part of your academic studies, okay? So what are the guidelines to choose your dissertation topic? Because I know it is sometimes very hard to some people to choose the suitable or the suitable and meaningful topic, dissertation or thesis topic. First thing, you must choose the topic that you are interested, because as you know, when we are interested in a specific thing, to do specific thing, that means we can work a long time on it, on this thing, and we can understand the achievements, and we can check the progress. Also, you need to avoid any overly ambitious or challenging topic. Avoid any simple topic. Avoid topics linked too closely to your emotional issue in your life, and avoid topic driven by personal bias or strong personal opinions. You must consider the academic integrity in your research, okay? Also, you must select a topic that makes original contribution to the field. It's very important, as you know, because this is the idea of a dissertation or thesis. So recommendation how to do that: do preliminary research, take constructive criticism from your peers and mentors seriously, discuss with them, ask experts in your field if you have any question, be flexible to explore any new idea, and how to develop research questions, for example, and ideas. So you can hear me, everyone? Please, if you cannot hear me, just type in the chat. Okay, great, thank you. Be flexible and open to explore any new idea, to develop any new idea, or to update any idea that you have. Be patient about your topic. This is a long-term research. It is not in 1 month. You must do it, or 2 months, or 3. For dissertation, for example, you need 4 to 6 years. Consider feasibility in terms of available resources, time, and data. So steps here to choose dissertation topic is identify the area of your interest for your dissertation, consider guideline, conduct literature review, narrow your topic down. You must specify what exactly you are working on, and you must also mention why. Make your research original and significant, and consult your advisor. So what is a literature review? Why we need literature review? It's a critical and comprehensive analysis of the existing research to identify if there's a gap in this existing research, so you can address the gap, okay? Also, the literature reviews showcase your capacity to critically analyze and integrate existing scholar work providing a strong foundation to justify your research question and methodology. So these are the main objectives. Establish context background of your research, provide a clear understanding of the current state of the knowledge on the subject, identify the gaps, highlight the significance of your research in the context of previous studies. How to conduct literature review, define the scope and the objective, use a good or a proper keywords when you do your search, conduct thorough research, select relevant studies, organize literatures in themes, organize them in groups is very important. This makes you able to communicate and connect and discuss them in your dissertation. Also analyze and compare studies, critically evaluate the literatures, highlight the theoretical framework, combine relevant information, and relate this literature to your research. So the literature review chapter or section, because some people, they include the literature review in the first chapter, it's depend, okay? So you should have introduction, body, and conclusion, okay? You should have these. You should start with narrow the focus of the work under the review in the introduction, then synthesize the literature to support the thesis statement. In the end, you must summarize the literature finding and identify the potential areas of further research. So literature can be book, dissertation, articles, scholar articles in journal, magazine, conference, peer-reviewed article, professional reports, maybe videos, link to data resource, and anything else, okay, or code. So what are the methods how to read a scholar article? Is first skimming. You need to skim to get the big picture of the study and check if they are relevant to your research. Then to save your time and better achievements. Also to review a text article that you have read before. This is a good thing. So how we can do that? Actually, you should start reading any article, for example, you should start with reading the abstract because it summarizes what these people did, okay? What is their method? What are their achievements? How did they contribute? What is their question or questions, hypotheses, okay? What is the goal? So start with the abstract. Then you can go to the conclusion and discussion also. Also, you need to focus on the title or subtitle of other sections or chapters in your literature. Bold words, charts, figures, tables, because these provide a good information. Okay, and sometimes when we look on a figure or table, they describe many pages. Okay, so you can get the summarization and you know what are the information they focus on. So as I mentioned, you need to start with the abstract, introduction, and conclusion. Then you can go with other chapters. You must know what each chapter in a dissertation or thesis mean when you read it as a literature, or each section in a scholar article. So you can see these are the questions that each section or chapter answer in the scholar literature, okay? Good way also when you read literatures is to summarize the literatures in a table. Is very nice technique, and this technique can help you also to connect ideas when you write the literature review chapter. So for example, you can mention what is the study, what are the methods, function, data, results, limitation, application, and so on. Okay, so you can summarize each literature in this way. Okay, this way can help you also to group literatures into different groups. So for example, people who work with data, imaging data, for example, other people's work with clinical data. Other people's work, for example, a combination. So you can group them into groups where you can know, when you know what are the methods, function, limitations, results, contribution, each of these literature, it will this help you to write the literature review chapter in easy way. Okay. This is another example also of how you can summarize literatures. In the book, when you skim it, you must look on the introduction and conclusion part of each chapter. Book is a little bit different than articles, thesis. Also, actually, the thesis is like, or dissertation like a book. So you can look, most of the people, they provide introduction for each chapter they have in their book or in their dissertation thesis, okay? So look on the introduction part, the summary, the end, the charts, figures, and so on. One important thing you must focus on is how to cite the literatures, how to cite the others' work. Okay, let me check just the time. So there are different methods. There are different styles. You can check what are the styles. Here I provide links, the information about different styles, how you can choose the specific one, okay, for your dissertation. So also maybe you see, let me just see, I got, just give me 1 minute to check what is the problem with the battery in my computer. Sorry for that. I thought I connect it properly, but it looks I had a problem. Okay, so these are some journals, for example, some libraries, they provide different types of the styles. So you can choose one, the one that you prefer or that you will use in your dissertation, okay? So these are some examples. Also, there are available some methods, website available online, so you can choose them to convert. But this website based on artificial intelligence that are available online to convert from a specific style to another, remember, these are still machines. So you need to check everything, okay? So my recommendation for the literature review is read, write. Okay, when you read, summarize, write. Okay, it's very important because when we read and we do not write or we do not put our notes, that means it's probably that you will forget what you did, what you read, what you conclude, what you got, and so on. Okay, also, as I mentioned, use tables to summarize, highlight, and compare between literatures, use figures, a flowchart, because they provide more information, and also connect with people, ask if you have any problem, discuss. When we say connect here with people, you can connect with others. If something you didn't understand about the method, if you have a question about how they process, for example, their data, okay? So let me jump now about the writing, okay? Talk more about writing. So to write your thesis and dissertation, you need skills, and there are some strategy. Make the writing is not really very hard task. I know many people, they are good in conducting a research, in processing data, in developing ideas. But when they come to the writing, it's a little bit hard, it's boring task. You need to write. Sometimes we feel stress about our writing, if it is good or not. So let's look on some strategies. Again, here, you need all these skills to write your dissertation in a good way, okay? First, let's look how long your dissertation should be. 100 pages, 200, 300. Actually, it depends how many pages on your topic, on your field, on your study type, okay? So many things. But put in your mind, the length of your dissertation should be sufficient to address the chosen topic and demonstrate the necessary depth of your research. So when you write first, you must think about who are your audience. This is an important question because the information that you need to include in your dissertation is depend on your audience. So for example, if your dissertation is in multidisciplinary research, that means you will have audience from a different field that you are working on. So you need to clarify information related to other fields that you are using in your dissertation. Of course, your audience is your advisor, your committee member, also faculty in your department, scholars in other organizations around the world, students, okay? So put all these in your mind when you write your dissertation. What are the contents, okay, of your dissertation? We mentioned what is the structure. We need to include the background about your research. What is your topic? Why you choose this topic? Why you are interested in? What are the hypotheses or questions of your dissertation? What are the suggested methods? When you ask a question, of course, or hypothesis, put our hypothesis, that means we are asking a question that can help to develop the methods in our dissertation, okay? And what are your findings or expected findings, let's say? How you can evaluate your result? What are the measures? What is the type of the research, okay? So you need to plan ahead, set a writing dissertation timeline. This is specifically for writing. Start with writing as early as possible is very important. As you know, I recommend it already, read and write, okay? Figure out your daily schedule. You should have use Pomodoro technique. I will talk about this. This should be make writing task a little bit more easy and flexible. Seek support and feedback. You also can build your dissertation based on your previous work. For example, population that you have published in a conference or in a journal already. So you can just expand or on your proposal that you submitted to your department. Okay, so here are some motivation strategies. Schedule regular activities with you, other people relate to your dissertation. For example, with your advisor to discuss, to present, to ask, to clarify things. With your peers, for example, a session, writing session, a specific day and time, or a specific time every day, and you sit as a group, each one will do a task, and you can maybe also provide a feedback for other reading, discuss with others. And also rewards, to get some rewards when you achieve, even if a simple writing, when you finish a simple writing task, this could be a very great, okay? So what are, how to start writing? Here are some methods are provided in Surviving Your Dissertation book. Make a list, clustering, write a letter to friend, journalistic device, writing stories. So in making list, you can know what are the order of the ideas. This is one of the good methods. This makes sense of your ideas in order, ordinary language. This can pursue reader to follow your way or thinking and analyzing how you analyze things. Also provide reader with essential information. Tell the story of development your idea. This is one of the method. Another method is making list. This, as I mentioned, to remember what are the important ideas, organization of the thought, what are the priority, which one we should start, how to connect to each others, and also how to evaluate our progress. Another one is clustering. That means you must put a topic, you must have a paper, for example, and put the main topic in the center of the paper and put your ideas around the center of the paper. Do not look or take care of their spatial location, but also just only try to connect the ideas around the central idea by drawing lines. In this method, you can actually group different ideas in different groups, okay? And you can know what is the relation between the connected idea, how to start writing each connected ideas. Another method is write a letter to friend. Okay, this is one of the techniques that, it's not easy when you start writing to write in the best way. And we still feel stress sometimes. We feel fear. This is not okay. This is not good. We did how to start. So if you think it is just your friend, you want to tell your friend's story about what you learn, what you are doing, why you are interested in, this will make easier to write, to finish your writing task successfully. Also, the journalistic devices, any news story is a start with a paragraph that tells the story about who, what, where, when, why, and how. Okay, so this is a good way also. This method can be very good to state the purpose and the approach of the study clearly and directly. Also, we have another method is writing a story. Just imagine you are writing a story. So each story has a begin. We start with a story beginning to set the stage, and we end with the conclusion. So there are some strategies to keep you going when you are right, okay? So remember, you have first draft, maybe second, third, and the last version, okay? So in the first draft, the suggestion from the book that I mentioned earlier, they say use first person singular to clarify the meaning, use phrases for expression, opinions to make the dangerous of evaluate other works direct. So you can start with saying, I think, in my opinion, this method is better than that, and so on. Okay. So I believe we just have 2 minutes to conclude this workshop. So also here I provide some information about first draft, how to write it, also information about the final one, how we can improve it. Also, I mentioned some challenges that you can face and how we can solve each one of these challenges. So as we don't have enough time, so I can stop here, but I will share actually these slides with you. Also, I mentioned, I talked about the Pomodoro technique. I actually recommend to use this method is to set a time of 25 minutes as a one Pomodoro and work intensity. Then when the timer ring is you get a time ring, get a short break, then do this repeat for four promoters. Okay, this can help you in the writing your dissertation. Not only writing, but any other dissertation process task. Here I provide some resources. You can visit these links and also the references that I used. If you have any questions, I believe we do not have enough time. If there is enough time, I am happy to answer the questions. If you have a specific question also and we don't have a time, this is my email address, okay? linachato@unlv.edu. Okay, so you can just email me. I will be so happy to answer any question. Thank you.
Well, thank you so much, Dr. Chatto, for
You are
sharing your
very welcome.
time, your expertise with us.